Dave with LoFiTrader. We are doing the NVDA earnings today. We're going to see exactly what comes of it. I got a couple of bucks in it, the wife and I anyway. So I wanted to get things started a little bit before earnings. We actually got a couple hours before earnings. So let's get into it, baby. All right, welcome. We're live, baby. So you're more than welcome to say whatever you want, because we're just hanging out until the actual earnings start. So I just got the reminder. I signed up through this for the Q3 earnings call. But in the meantime, what we can do is go over and look over some of what. Well, first, let's crack this thing. Monster is not a sponsor of this show, although I would probably make a lot more money if they were. So let's just take a look at this. I love this data window. This is the Trader Sync, or I'm sorry, Trader View. Trader Sync is what analyzes all the trades that I've taken. And if you look on this and you scroll down here, it's got this cool little earnings tab, and you can click on More Financials. And clicking on that, it shows you these cool little growth patterns, the charts to show you like each year how many you've actually had. So we're going to go through that, but before we do all of that, I want to bring up the chat just in case anybody wants to give the old chat a chat. That way we can stay proactive. So let me bring that up real quick. And then we will go over the earnings, what has happened, what's taken place in the earnings. And yeah, let's see here. YouTube Studio. And where are we here? Let's see. Content. Live. Right here. Analytics. We don't want analytics, do we? No. What do we want? Live now. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while since I've did all this, so it makes me want to. It makes me a little slower. But I'll figure it out. Let's see here. Must be in your channel. Click on that, maybe. And here I am watching myself trying to figure out how to get this figured out. Alex C, what's up, Alex C? It's good to see you, brother. Happy you joined us. We got a little while. We got a little time before before the earnings call actually come out. So we're just hanging out, chilling like a villain, baby. But thanks for joining us, man. I took a small trade. Well, I wouldn't say a small trade. Actually, I took more of a gamble on earnings for this earnings call, but. I talked with the wife. We both believe in the long-term growth of NVIDIA. It's one of those stocks where if you say, well, in 5 years, you're going to look back on this. This is actually, I'm quoting her. If you look back on 5 years and you say, hey, why the heck did we not put some money in NVIDIA, right? So that's kind of what we're saying. So if this thing drops on me, I'm just going to hold. This is a buy and hold for me. I'm happy with the decision. I might not be happy after earnings, but it is what it is. But hey, guys, let's take a look at the actual earnings here. So if we look at the overall revenue growth, this bar here on the top, you can see back here on Q3 of 2022, their earnings was declining on the Q3, but they still achieved 4.93 billion. Okay, let's look at the Q2 here, 6.7 billion, okay, in 2022, and now the Q2 in 2023 has over doubled that. It's 13.5 billion. And I think we all can understand why that was. It was simply because AI. AI is booming. 2023, somewhere around the middle of 2023, or closer towards the end of it actually, AI just, people want to shut up about it, right? And it is a big thing. I mean, I think everybody's taking it a little bit overboard. Any kind of new piece of technology, for whether it's videos, whether it's like if you they have the new face on Google. They're calling it AI, and it's the best picture. So like if you have one person blinking and you get caught blinking, it'll give you the ability to choose which face is best, and then it all lines it up, and they're calling that AI. That to me, that's not AI. That's just new technology that's able to be used to make better pictures. There's going to be a bunch of crap that's like that that's coming out. They'll say, yeah, use our new AI Snapchat filter. It's just a Snapchat filter. It's not AI, right? So people are using AI and they're stretching the truth on that. But either way, when it comes to AI and all the new technologies that come with it, the biggest thing is this huge boom. Why NVDA? Well, NVDA creates these chips that are worthwhile in all computers and cars and anything that has a graphics card. I mean, I'll just read to you what exactly NVIDIA does, in case you are not aware. NVIDIA Corporation engages in the design and manufacture of computer graphic processors, chipsets, and related multimedia software. It operates through the following segments: graphics processing unit, Tegra processor, and all others. The GPU segment consists of product brands including GeForce for gamers, Quadro for designers, Tesla and DGX for AI data scientists and big data researchers, and Grid, GRID, for cloud-based visual computing users. The Tegra processor segment integrates an entire computer onto a single chip and incorporates GPUs and multi-core GPUs to drive supercomputing for autonomous robots, drones, and cars, as well for consoles and mobile gaming and entertainment devices. The all other segment refers to the stock-based compensation expense, corporate infrastructure, and support costs, acquisitions related costs, legal settlement cost, and other non-reoccurring charges. Riri, come here, baby! My boy's knocking on the door. He wants to be a part of this. The company was founded by Jen Hooson Hung, Chris A. Melchowski, and Curtis R. Preem in April 1993. Its headquarters in Santa Clara, California, the big state of California. So, in my opinion, why are they different than everybody else? I can't put my finger on it, but I know by looking at the actual chart, the data is telling us through technical analysis, this thing is leading by example, right? It's at its highs, and it's been leading since, let's see, what was this, Q1? Let's see, I think this was Q1. Yeah, because we're on 3. No, yeah, this was Q1. Q1, it came out and it showed that their earnings just ramped up like crazy. And that was because of AI and because of everything that had happened with AI. So, hey man, I like it. It doesn't matter if you do or you don't. What I can say is that it's following these technical patterns. And if it comes out and if the earnings is good, that's great. But really, I think the main thing is going to be their forecast. So if earnings comes out and it's garbage, they don't even meet their earnings. Let's see, what is their earnings here? Let me bring this back up. See what their expected earnings is close to 3.6 billion for Q3. So last year in Q3, they were roughly around 0.9 billion. And so now they're trying to double that. I could be wrong on that. Let's see. Q3, Q3 last year. Total revenue, 5.93 billion. So I was close. 5.93 billion. No, I was way off. 5.93 billion. So we want to see, like, as a How to Make Money in Stocks William O'Neill investor, we want to see these Q3s. We want to see them doubling. If we could see them doubling or close to, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. So we'd like to see them keeping on that track. So we'll come back to that in just a minute. But right now, what I would like to do is take a little peeky gander and see if I can't get some of my buddies hopped on board here. It has been a while though. That is for gosh darn sure. I miss doing it, but hey, sometimes we gotta make money. We gots to make some money. And that's what I had to do. I went back to work after tearing my MCL, my meniscus. Went back to work, made some money, got that health insurance back up. Yeah. And now that I have health insurance, I can go get my knee fixed. My meniscus is torn in half, the doctor said, and he said he is happy to fix it. And I'm happy to have him. I went to ProMedica, and they gave me the runaround for a while, and it was a sad, sad story. 5 or 6, never got to see a doctor. Next thing you know, hey, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm well, but without as much mobility. So I'm going in March to go get that thing fixed finally. I'm happy about it. That is some good stuff. All right, let me bring up some Facebookies. Let me get this popping real quick. Yeah. We're getting a little bit of a drop here in the NVDA. If you'll notice, they've kind of been trading sideways. That's usually what will happen right before earnings, because over the course of the past week, what people will do is they'll get themselves set and settled in to where they think the stock's going to go. And then the day before, usually a few days before, it'll just kind of trade sideways. You'll see some drops, some spikes, but usually it'll end pretty well sideways. So here you can see from the top to its bottom, it has a change of almost 3%. That's its average daily range, is that 3%, and so it did meet it, but right now we're almost dead center of that average daily range, and also it's sitting right on top of VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price. So, you know, yesterday this thing really took off away from its VWAP area, got up in over the 500s. You can see right around this 499.81, 500 was the breakout area, and it took off, and then it just pulled back, came up, retested that VWAP high of the morning's trading, and then tanked, followed that technical pattern that I drew on here for us just a few days ago, and now you can see it's trading just above it. So if this thing breaks down and starts heading lower, we have a couple of moving averages down here. The 21 is above the 30 and the 50. Let me just make sure that's the 30. Yeah, that is the 30. So we are getting what they call as a power trend, where they're all lining up. You got the 10, the 21, the 30, and the 50-day moving average all settling in very nicely down here. So it looks good, but it is a little extended from that 50-day moving average. So if you look back here, if you see and notice, like this breakout here, it broke out and it stayed above that 50-day moving average, and it created this power trend right here. This is what I mean by that, where the 21 and the 30 crossed over, and then it had that aligned where the 10, 21, 30, and 50-day moving average took off, and then it pulled back, touched the 21-day moving average, and then just leapt up ever since. So that's kind of what we're looking for in this next spot here. We might see this thing pull back, and grab onto that 21-day moving average, but as long as these moving averages stay in line with the 10, 21, 30, and 50, I think we're going to see a nice move to the north side. But all that being said, none of it really matters, guys. What matters is earnings and guidance. So if earnings and guidance are going to give us a nice push to the north side, then it would be nice to see some follow through and then even some sideways action after that. So we will see if that's what will happen. And if that's what happens, then that's what'll be happening, baby. So yes, sir, Bob. Just hanging out, chilling like a villain, baby. Let's go to do. Yeah. Do. Oh yeah. Let's see what we got here. I'm trying to find my groups. It looks like Facebook has done a few new things on here, so it's hard to find where everything is now that I'm just starting it back up, baby. But it's all good. It's all good in the hood. I'm excited about these earnings. I signed up for the earnings and I figured, hey, might as well have some friends in here while I'm doing it. Q3 earnings call for NVDA. They're not starting until 5 o'clock, it says, so we still got some time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I guess I didn't even realize you guys could see everything I'm doing on this, which is kind of funny. It's just my Facebook. No big deal. But I'd like to find, I used to have some groups on here. Let's see. Robin Hood. There we go. There we go. Get that thing posted. There we go. That's me. That's me inside of me. It's me inside of the box. It's a beautiful thing. Well, it might not be very beautiful, but hey, we're here, baby. So the earnings call starts at 5 p.m. You're going to start seeing some volatility right in the after hours. Right in the after hours, you're going to start seeing this thing fluctuate. But at 5 o'clock, once they start talking, the ball will drop. People will start really feeding into each other and they'll start figuring out what they want to do. And we'll have it up. Hoping the audio quality will be pretty good, but we will see. That is going to be a bit iffy. I had to work on that before we started the show, and hey, it is what it is. We'll see how well the audio quality does. Right now, I think we got some lo-fi music playing in the background. Help keep the nerves calm. Let's see. I think I'm about break even on this trade right now, but like I said, really, this is not much of a trade, guys. This is more of a gamble. And you can look at it a few different ways. I'm gambling because I'm buying before earnings. But the wife and I, we talked. We want this to be a longer term. This is for the future. In 5 years, this is what I'm asking myself. In 5 years, am I going to wish that I put money into NVDA? These aren't buy or sell recommendations. This is just something that I've talked to with my loved one. And I said, hey, I'm sick of sitting on $25,000, right? I want to put my money somewhere, invest it in something, because everything's so expensive right now, especially with real estate. I mean, you look for a house to rent, to drop some money on, and everybody's price is just exuberant, right? The houses that we're selling for $30,000, $40,000 in Toledo or the east side of Toledo, they're asking over $100,000 now for it. It's absolutely ridiculous. So you cannot get a good price on a house, and some people might say, well, the house prices are never coming back down. Well, I'll tell you what will come back down eventually, and that is how much it's going to cost to borrow money. So I'm not going to borrow money. If I'm going to pay for something, I'm going to pay for it in cash, right? But these people are selling these at an exuberant price, and people aren't willing to pay for that price. So in my personal opinion, supply and demand is just not going to be there. Eventually it's just going to come right back down. People are going to have a bigger supply because people aren't going to want to sell their houses right now because the cost to borrow money to buy a new home is just exuberant. So it is what it is. I think eventually we're going to have more supply. Builders are going to keep on building. Builders are going to keep on selling. Those same people that are actually buying those houses, and those houses are they're selling, right? People are going to borrow for a higher price, and then they aren't going to be able to afford those. And we're going to have, maybe not a 2008 all over again, but we'll definitely have something where it's going to pull back, right? We're going to see a lot more houses going up for sale. And if you keep an eye on the retail market, you'll notice a lot of the houses are selling for a lower and lower price. I've watched a house drop $20,000 in 3 weeks after it started listing. I've seen some people take their house completely off the market because they're getting the $300,000 they're asking for their piece of crap home in Luna Pier, Michigan. So I really think with supply and demand, I really think it's just going to start to come down, but I think it's going to need more and more time. So it is what it is. But I would love to see NVIDIA blow its earnings out of the water and then follow up with a future looking just super bullish. Like I was saying before, if we look at this chart, you can see their best was Q4. Their biggest revenue they've brought in since last year was $7.64 billion. Last Q2 earnings, $13.51 billion. That's a huge increase. That's over 100% revenue growth increase from the Q1 previous. So it's absolutely amazing. The gross profit, 224%. One of the things I like to look at on here is the average basic shares outstanding, but let's see, no, the basic EPS. So earnings per share is EPS, so basic EPS. So if you look at this, I just highlighted it right here. If you look at this, you can see it kind of stayed stagnant for last year, and then it jumped up 28%, and then it jumped up in Q2 851%. That's crazy. So if we can see that continued growth, I think we're going to see an awesome earnings play out. But you never know. Earnings is a bit of a gamble. But if you're looking to hold on to this thing for long term, hey, why not? Why not hold on long term? In my opinion, for this, I'm going to park my money somewhere and I'm going to let it do its magic. So that's just kind of my thought process there. Yeah. So if you're new to the channel, say hi, say what's up. Let me know what you're watching. What are you excited for? I mean, there's plenty of earnings out there, but mine right now, I really think NVIDIA is going to I think it's possible it could help change the direction of the market. If we don't see good earnings for NVIDIA, I think we might be able to see the NASDAQ kind of have a pullback, So let's take a look at the NASDAQ futures here, and you can see they broke highs. I mean, it's at not all-time highs, but for the year, for the past year, it's broken at all-time high. We're not too far from all-time highs, and I think this has a possibility to bring this market down if NVIDIA doesn't do well. So we'll see. It's definitely going to play a part in the S&P 500. Maybe not so much the NASDAQ, but definitely the S&P 500. So we're going to keep it on NVIDIA. We're going to keep it locked in on NVIDIA. You can see the tick for tick right here. We'll even move it to the 1 minute for all you crazy youngins out there trading the 1 minute time frame. Today it just kind of traded sideways. It did actually trade within its average daily range, which is that 3%. So from the average daily range is from here, guys. So it moved all the way up here to 505.13, and it pulled back all the way down here to 492.22. That's an average, or that's the change rate is 2.55. the average daily range is 3%. So maybe not the full ADR, but we're just kind of trading sideways. If you look after its initial morning push and pullback, it bounced back up, and it's been trading within that VWAP area all day, which is, in my opinion, it's pretty common for that to happen right before earnings. People are just getting their placement. It's just kind of, it plays within a range. So we're going to see what happens here, but it just keeps bouncing off VWAP. It looks like it's dipping below it just here, just a little bit. So we're going to see what happens. Maybe we get a panic sell right before earnings starts. People are getting out of those shares, you know, getting out of there. So we'll see. But I'm excited. I'm excited for it. So, but I got the Q4 up. They aren't starting. They're not starting their Q3 earnings. It says it doesn't start until 5 p.m. is what it's saying right here, guys. So I will definitely. It says right here the lobby will open 15 minutes prior to the event starting. Right here, the access details here. If I click on it, it loads, but it's nothing. Nothing comes up just yet. So we do have to be patient to actually hear what you all came here for. Okay. I'm excited. I'm as excited as you are. I'm pumped. I want this to happen sooner. But hey, we're open at 4. We're open at, oh heck, I started at 3:30 so that way we all could get in, get comfy. So yeah, let's keep on keeping on. We'll make sure that we stay live. I'm hoping the audio's doing a fantastic job, and I hope the audio is phenomenal once we get the actual Q3 earnings call for NVDA started. Market is closing in 2 minutes. I have a sneaky suspicion right after the close we're going to start seeing it get a little bit more volatile, at least more volatile in aftermarket than it usually is. People, you know, making their last minute adjustments before the actual earnings call starts, but we will see. Right now, NVIDIA is trading at $499.30. I got an average price around 500, which is not the smartest, but I held on to about 10 more shares so that if we duck back down to that $400 area, that I can add 10 more shares to it. So I don't have all my chickens in one basket or all my eggs in one basket. But yeah. All right. Here we go, guys. We got a minute 30 seconds. We're going to see what happens right at the end of the bell. Right now, I'm stuck in this boot. I got this cool boot going on. Plantar fasciitis, bursitis. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. But yeah, welcome. Welcome. If you're your first time with us, go ahead and be kind, rewind, hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you wanna. If not, that's okay. Watch me pick my nose. But we're gonna have fun here today. We're gonna have fun here today. $33 seconds till market closes. 25 seconds. Yeah, I am pumped about this though. I like listening to the earnings calls. Makes me feel like somewhat of a genius, even though half of it, half of their banner and jargon is usually just filler words. We want to get to the good stuff, to the chicken nuggets, to the meat. We want to hear what's really going on. Give us the numbers, give us the forecast. All right, market's closed. We're going to see how volatile this thing gets right after market close. Looks like we're getting a bit of a drop. $499.44 is where we're currently trading. But it's just been trading sideways most of the day, guys. This is your 1 minute time frame. Down here is going to be your daily time frame. I got kind of a mess going on here. I can go ahead and clean this up though for you. Let's see. Remove old drawings, clear drawings, set. Get rid of that. But I am a technical analysis trader. So this here with the earnings and everything, this is more of a long-term trade for me personally. Got an average price around 500, so I'm just break even on this trade. Like I said, it's a buy and hold for me. This isn't buy or sell recommendations. It's just a buy and hold for myself because, I mean, where else am I going to put this dang money? Everything's just so expensive. That's what I was talking about earlier. Retail is expensive. Property is expensive. I don't want to invest in a business that I don't understand. There's been a few things that, I've wanted to look into that I thought were important, but I get so excited about so many different things. I've taken so many different angles and approaches to life that I don't want to invest in something if it's not going to be worth my while, if I don't have my full heart into it. So we are getting a little bit of volatility right here in the after hours. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a pump right here. We're at $578. Like I said, guys, we're going to see a little bit of volatility happen right in the after hours. But don't be afraid. There are no, the Q3 has not started yet. The Q3 earnings, the talks have not started yet. They are not starting till 5 p.m. I do have it up right here. It's going to start 15 minutes prior. We will be in right when the Q3 earnings start, when they start to talk. I have it up here in your top left screen, guys, so that way you are not alarmed. I'm on top of it. Up top here in the top left, if I'm doing it right, maybe it's over here, over here, but just above me, above my head, straight up here. I got it up. I'm ready and raring to go. All I'm doing is waiting for them to start. They're going to start 15 minutes before the actual, so 4:45. We got 45 minutes until they will allow me to access the actual Q3 earnings call. Once we get access to it, we will get raring and ready to go. But we got 45 minutes before that starts happening. And like I said, we were going to see some volatility right in the after hours. And you're seeing that right now, guys. We just jumped a full $1 just from the time the market has closed. So within 3 minutes, we jumped over a full $1 there in NVDA right after the market closed, and it shuttled quite a bit of, we had over 1 million shares traded right in the after hours, right there, guys. I mean, you're seeing it. I mean, look at that jump. Look at that spike right there, right in the after hours. We're talking, let's see, almost 0.5% right there, and it's been trading within that 0.5% for half that day, and we just met with and look at that candle. Look at that wick. Look at that wick. I don't think that was a misprint either. I think that was a real wick. It was a sharp move down, and it got bought right back up. So you're seeing some heavy traders here. If things are moving like that, you're seeing some heavy traders right now trying to get their market in a line before the earnings call actually happens. So what will happen here, nobody knows, and if you do, that's called insider information. You need to share it with your good friend LoFi, because I would love to know. I would love to know some insider information. Yeah, so if you got some insider information, let me know, baby. You gotta let me know. I want to make some money too. Is this thing gonna tank? It's alright if it does. I still think, with NVIDIA and everything that they do, I really think in the long term, I'm going to look back and I'm going to say, man, I wish I put more in. I wish I would have, pulled some equity out of my house and put it on NVIDIA. I'm all for NVIDIA. I've been using NVIDIA, with their graphic chips for gaming, although I don't do a lot of gaming now, but my children do. They're using NVIDIA graphics card, but with AI, AI is going to get integrated in everything you do. Everything you use is going to be AI eventually, and that's just my personal opinion. If you think otherwise, argue with me. Let me know what you think, because I hate to be too biased in one side, but I think just like anything else, it's new to a lot of people. A lot of people don't understand it, but AI, I've been keeping up on it since it first started popping off. And we've held all the AI gains. Everything that, when people started talking AI and AI started ramping up, it definitely held its gains. It wasn't like a bubble where it expanded so high and so fast and then just ricocheted back down. We're seeing constant gains in people using AI and integrating AI into cell phones, into web browsers. And if you look at a lot of the algorithms that Amazon uses to help get their views and their ads out to you, that's what they're also considering AI algorithms, right? But if you take AI and you introduce those algorithms to that same section there, it's only going to get better. And so there's a lot of people out there that are working hard. I think it's going to create a lot of jobs. AI will create a lot of jobs, but it's also going to remove a lot of those jobs. And if you'll notice that there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things that get integrated, but then it helps other people have better jobs, better wages. And AI, I think, is going to be a great tool in the long run, for people. So, yeah, what do you think? What do you guys think? I'd love to get a different view on that. Honestly, I'd love for somebody to show me like the negative side, the negative light, to explain why they think it's either a bubble or why it's not going to work, or AI is just, any conspiracy would be great too. I could make up a conspiracy right now. AI is just the government's introduction to keep our minds busy on something while they do something else. It's all fun, guys. It's all fun. It's all speculation in the long run, right? It's all speculation no matter what. It's all speculation. Nobody actually knows what's going to happen. But when push comes to shove, I'm actually going to be keeping myself well integrated with AI and all the things coming up with it. And, I love it. I love technology. I hope I can keep up with it. My grandfather and my grandmother, they didn't use computers. They didn't they didn't keep up with technology. My grandfather still used a rotary phone landline at his house. And I think the only thing keeps him from getting lonely is the spam callers. He's got to, no thank you, hang up that rotary phone, and constantly is just getting up, and that's his exercise for the day. Getting up, walking to his rotary landline phone, and then getting mad because he had another spammer call him, right? So, that's him. He didn't keep up with the technology. But I'm hoping to keep up with it, at least for my children's sake, because, I'm telling you, back in the day, when I was in junior high, I wasn't even using Google at the time to find my answers. The best I had was my mother, my grandparents, or the dictionary, right, to actually find some answers. Nowadays, you go to ChatGPT and you can write an essay using that. Heck, I even had a few resumes that I helped use to help me make a cover letter. Now, I didn't use ChatGPT to completely help make my cover letter. I would make a cover letter, I would integrate that into ChatGPT, and I would ask for suggestions to help make it better. And then it would come back with a few things that I could do or change to make that better. So if we look back at NVDA right now, guys, it's back down to 570. So we're at a range here. Let's just check the pre-market range for right now. From 502 to 498.98, so we'll just say 499. So we have a range of 0.7% right straight away in the aftermarket. It looks like it's creating this flag. We are looking on the 1 minute. This gets pretty exciting. I don't care to look on the 1 minute, but if we're just doing one of these, you can see we got this pennant forming. So we're going to see which way it wants to go on this pennant. We'll see what happens from right here. It looks like it's trying to break out to that north side. But again, guys, we're on the 1 minute. We are waiting till 4:45. So it can let us in at 4:45. The Q3 earnings call will let us in so we can hear what is actually going on for the Q3 earnings. At 4:45, they allow us to join the earnings call. You can see up here at the top, I have it up. I'm just waiting to be able to click this link. So it will allow me to join at 4:45, and then at 5 o'clock, guys, is when that starts. So hang out with me, chill. You can ask whatever you want. Let me know what you're doing, what you having for dinner. I don't give a gosh darn. We still got some time to kill. But regardless, I'm going to chit chatter because that's what I do best, especially when I get to drinking one of these things. They're not sponsoring me, but they are delicious. I love it. I would love to make this my full-time job. I really do. I love everything in the market. I love technical analysis. I love the fundamentals of things. What I don't love is if you want to go to school, we're talking. I got this from my buddy Chris. He is a financial advisor. This is the General Securities Representative exam for the Series 7. Oh my gosh, it's overwhelming just looking at this thing. But you know, I really think it's what I want to do. And I keep looking into it. I got a few other job opportunities that have been thrown my way, but I'm telling you, I think being a financial advisor would be the way to go, to just help other people. You know, just help other people so they can get their money in line. You know, my wife actually got me started on this when she met me. I didn't really have a full understanding of the best way to use money and use it to have that financial freedom. And then when I met her, it was just kind of getting everything written down, having a learning and a better understanding of how finances work and how hard it is to save, you know, and how to get your everything in line. And then I started looking into the Dave Ramsey, taking the baby steps, paying off your debts, and paid off the house, and, you know, never using a credit card. I truly am a believer of that. Now, that's for your average American. Now, we could argue all day about using debt to create more capital, to use that capital to create more debt, and so on, you know. But right now, I don't like debt. I'd rather pay cash for it. If I don't, you know, and even then, not becoming a billionaire, right? We all want to be a millionaire. That's nice. But not becoming a billionaire. But if you want to become a billionaire, you do have to do that asset debt rolling over, right? But me personally, I don't like being in debt. I like the fact that if something happens to me like this, like being in Das Boot, and I can't work, I gotta sit on my butt. I mean, I could work technically, but it's very painful. And there was a layoff, so I accepted the layoff. I'm looking for work that I can do with my boot, but hey, it is what it is. So I'm chilling, and I'm working. I'm doing the best I can to make sure I can still provide for my family. And in the meantime, on the weekends or on awesome earnings days, boom, this is what we got. This is what we're doing. So I love it. I love it. Financial freedom. When you have things paid off, you don't have to worry about money so much, and you can do things like this. I just wish this was a full-time job. It sure is hard to create a fan base, or at least an entertainment base. But here we go. NVIDIA is popping back up there to 501.65. It looks like NVIDIA did break to the north side from that small bullish pennant. I guess we'll call it, since it went north. But anything could happen here, guys. Anything could happen. Because at 4:45, when they let us in, and at 5 o'clock, right when they start talking, and they start releasing those earnings, that's going to be the real story there. That's going to be the real what if. You know, we're going to see what NVIDIA really wants to do. Because that's really what we're here for, right? That's really what that's really what is going to happen. They're going to come out with their Q3 earnings, and then after that, they're going to come out right away with their future looks. Their I'm having a brain fart. I can't think of the name of it. Their future look on their earnings. Their I can't think of it. It's A-okay though. Been having a brain fart today and yesterday. Ooh. So here are the earnings for NVIDIA. This is their forecast. That's the name of it. Gosh, come on. All I have to do is stop thinking, and then it'll pop right in my head. Bam! Their forecast. Their forecast means more than their actual earnings. So as long as they meet their expected earnings or beat their expected earnings, they could even go slightly under their forecasted earnings of their estimate of 3.3 billion for Q3. They could even shuttle underneath it just slightly, as long as their Q4 forecasted earnings end up being higher that's going to look bullish and very bullish for the overall company. Okay, not to say that they beat and it fails because their forecast is lower than expected, but annually, if you look at this is what you want to see in a growth company. Their 2022 didn't beat 2021, but their 2023, they're estimating it's going to blow it out of the water. And then thereafter that, almost double. After that, another $4 billion estimated revenue growth, and another $4 billion after that. So they're expected to grow another $4 billion each year thereafter is what they're forecasting annually. Quarterly, look at this: 3.37, 3.78, 3.97, 4.23. So it's just continual growth, and that's what you want to see in a growth stock. It's got a cool story. I do love it, and I am biased. I am biased right now. Obviously, you can hear it in my voice. I'm excited, and I'm rooting for him, and I have money in it. Right now, I'm close to break even. I got it around 500, so I'm up. A couple $100 on this trade. And, guys, the thing is this is a long-term trade for me. It's a long-term trade. I've been sitting on a lot of cash recently, and it needs to go somewhere. It needs to go somewhere. And my wife and I, we sat down, we had a talk, and I love NVDA. I love everything that they do. And if you don't know what NVDA is, while we're waiting, I'll just read you what they exactly are. Because some people just think it's a graphics card company. Personally, when I first started trading, that's all I thought that they were. So let me read this to you. NVIDIA Corporation engages in the design and manufacture of computer graphic processors, chipsets, and related multimedia software. It operates through the following segments: Graphic Processing Unit, GPUs, Tegra Processor, and all other. The GPU segment consists of product brands including GeForce, which I'm sure if you're a gamer out there, you know GeForce. Those GeForce, NVIDIA GeForce graphics card are absolutely amazing. Those are for gamers. The Quadro for designers. Tesla and DGX for AI data scientists and big data researchers. And GRID, Grid, for cloud-based visual computing users. So they have their fingers in a lot right there. Also, it says here, the Tegra processor segment integrates an entire computer onto a single chip and incorporates GPUs and multi-core GPUs to drive supercomputing for autonomous robots, drones, and cars, as well as for consoles and mobile gaming and entertainment devices. The all other segment refers to the stock-based compensation expense, corporate infrastructure and support costs, acquisition-related costs, legal settlement costs, and other non-recurring charges. The company was founded by Jen Hewson Hong, Chris A. Malowski, and Chris R. in April 1993. They've been around for a while, guys, and they're headquartered in Santa Clara, California. All right, so if you don't know, now you know. They are definitely a big part of, there it is. They are a big part of a lot of different things. When it came to the graphics, the graphics processor chipset, that right there, that's what I noticed right off the get. I knew for a fact, that, wow, they have one of the best graphics cards. I've used them playing video games. My children have. You see their symbol on a lot of computers when you buy it. This one here, does it have it on my computer here? No, but I'm pretty sure it does have, because this is the computer I have now is set up for virtual reality and things like that. So let's take a look at NVIDIA right now, guys. Like I said, we're going to see it be pretty volatile in the after hours right off the get. And if you notice, yesterday, it was not that volatile yesterday. You had slow movement, ups and downs. Right in the after hours here, look at this, guys. We just got a 507 spike. It's ramping up, 588. What is going on? I really wish we could have a better understanding of what's going on, but we aren't going to get What? Oh, wow. What a jump. It just tripped up to that 509 area before slamming right back down to 502.53. We are starting to see some pretty excitement right as I was telling you guys that. Now look at this. It just dropped right down. Now it's just striking down. 496. We are starting to see a lot of volatility. It is dropping hard now. 489.66. This thing just dropped like a tank, guys. Dropped like a tank. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Like I called this out just as we were talking, guys. I said we might see some volatility, and we are seeing that now. We just went from 509 it touched, and now we have dropped down to 478. We just lost a lot in this trade right here, right now. So we're going to see, and we're going to continue to see what happens here. So I wonder if somebody got some insider information and said, cut the cord, we need to get out of this stock. But either way, I need to hold on to this. This is a longer term trade for me. But look at this. This just gave up so much gains now. We're all the way down to it touched 468. It's coming back up to 477 already, but 468, let's just take a look at what 468 from its all-time highs, 468 looks like. That is a 7% move, guys, a 7% move we just seen in the after hours, and that's exactly why I told you we might see some major volatility in the after hours before the actual Q3 earnings comes out. I've seen this happen before, and we'll probably see it again, and right here you've seen it with LoFiTrader. So right now we're sitting at 487, so it bounced well off those lows of that 468. You can see people getting shooketh out of that trade. If you're in it, it can be extremely terrifying, especially if you have a lot of money in there, if you're not holding long term for this. These 1 minute biases can really put the sweating on you if you're trading on that 1 minute time frame. We're using the 1 minute time frame because this is for entertainment purposes, and it sure is a lot of fun to see these movements, especially a 7% move in 2 minutes. That's a lot. That is a lot going on right there, guys. Now we're already back up to 487.50 currently, and we're going to see what wants to continue to happen. I'm also going to try and just get into this event just to keep you guys updated to see if they've opened up yet. They said they won't be opening up till 4:45, and the actual earnings does not open up until 15 minutes prior, but they're actually not even starting until 5 o'clock. So 4:45 will be allowed into the Q3 earnings call, and it won't be till 5 o'clock do we actually get to hear what they have to say. So let's hope, and I say let's hope, because I am biased in this. I am long on this trade around that $500 marker, so I have lost quite a few bucks right here, right now, but this is a buy and hold, guys. This is a buy and hold for me. You can't always be right, but you can't always be wrong either. Once in a while, a squirrel finds a nut, and I hope to be that squirrel today. But we will see. I am expecting, I'm looking in a 5-year. I have a 5-year plan on this. I'm more than willing to hold for 5 years, and I would love to think in 5 years, when I look back on the stock, I go, why didn't I buy more? Why didn't I buy more? Well, if we get down to that $400 area, I will be buying more. I do have 10 more shares that I'm willing to spend. I'm willing to get up to around $25,000 in this stock. Right now I'm currently holding about $20,000. So we'll see what happens. 20,000 of NVDA, and I believe in it. I do believe in the stock. I believe in the story, and I believe if AI keeps on and it continues to integrate and to be a huge part of this world, which we're already starting to see, I have a feeling that NVIDIA will always be around. So we got 90 of you in here right now. If you haven't, hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. If you don't want to, that's a-okay. I'm happy you are here. Right now we are waiting. We are waiting for 4:45. That'll give me confirmation. I already have this all signed up. We are all signed up. If you look at the top of the page right here, boop, 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 that is my confirmation email to let me know that we are allowed in to listen to the Q3 earnings. So what I hear, you will hear as well. We've popped all the way back up there to 497.72, guys, off that 468, was it? Let's check out that low again. 468, guys. And we've already popped right back up there to 498.88. We're right back at that VWAP area that has traded for most of the day. That 498, 499. We're just going to call it 500. It'll be easier. But really, it's at 498 area is where that volume weighted average price, this purple line that you're seeing right here, that purple line is the volume weighted average price where most people in the past day or two have been purchasing these shares. Okay, so we're right back there. I mean, we've seen this thing jump up to 510, move down 7% to 468, and then move back up roughly around 5%, all within, it looks like, 7 minutes. I called it, guys. I told you, you need to watch out. These things get extremely volatile before the earnings call comes out. You have big, heavy hitters, some hedge funds in there, whether they don't want to be a part of the earnings call or they do. And so you're seeing that adjustment right there. That's good. That's going to keep me awake. Keep me awake, keep me talking. Let me know if the music's too loud or if it's just right. I'm pretty sure I have it set just perfect. I'm hoping when the Q3, I'm hoping the audio will be absolutely phenomenal for you guys. We will see, but you'll be hearing it as I can hear it as well. So back to the fundamentals of this. Do they pay a dividend? Yeah, they do pay a dividend. But if we look through these, I love looking at, right here's their revenue. This is nice to look at. Their revenue growth here. And it shows all the different colors here. It shows what their revenue earnings are from. But yeah, I love looking at these earnings and their forecasted earnings. So you can see, other than their Q2 and Q3 of last year, they have been consistently beating their forecast. And then in this most recent Q2, so 2023 Q2, their last earnings call, they beat by quite a bit here. Their estimate was 2.08 billion. They reported 2.7 billion. So almost $6.5 billion more than what they actually estimated for. So for this Q3, they've estimated $3.37 billion of earnings, guys. So I would love to see that rip up to 4.4 billion. But even if they do that, I'm not saying that that's what's going to make this stock go skyrocketing, okay? What's going to make this stock go bonkers is the forecast for it. So if they increase their estimate forecast for their Q4 and they increase it, let's say to 4.4 or 5 billion, that is going to be bonkers, guys. That's when you're going to see this stock just go skyrocket. Okay. Now back to the stock. We're already back up to $504. Right as I say it, we just dropped $2. That's how volatile this stock is right now in the after hours. It is 4:30 currently. We have 15 more minutes till we're allowed in to the actual Q3 earnings call, and another 30 minutes, roughly, 31 minutes to be exact, when they actually start talking about their earnings. And I can promise you guys, if you think this 7% move right here, the 7% that we're seeing right here in the after hours is big, wait until they start talking. Once they start jabbering, we're probably going to see 5 to 7% each minute. This thing's going to be ramping up and ramping down. So we will see very, very soon what actually goes down. I am pumped. I'm glad that you're here with me, guys. Thank you for joining me today. We've been out for a little while. A lot of different family things popping up. Having to head back to work. Getting health insurance. Getting my knee taken care of soon in March. Wearing Das Boot. I've had to show this a couple times, but I got this big old boot on right now. Because of my knee, I've had some issues. But yeah, jiu-jitsu's a hell of a drug. Jiu-jitsu is. And it's something that I love and enjoyed, but it can be pretty painful if you're not careful. Tore that meniscus clean in half, as the doctor said. Clean in half, but he can fix it. So March, surgery's coming up. So I'll have plenty of time to keep my eye on the market, continue learning. and continue doing what I love to do. So I am pumped for these earnings, guys, if you can't tell already. This is going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. So the earnings are at 5 o'clock. So we got 30 minutes until that. Hang out with me. Say hi. Let me know what you are most excited for. What do you think, personally? What do you think the Q3 earnings hold? Personally, I think it's kind of a gamble, right? This is something that you wait for. You wait for the earnings and you say, hey, what is going to happen here? And then after it happens, then you take up a position whether there's a technical area of support or resistance, depending on which way you want to play the trade, right? And so if you find that technical area of support and the earnings comes in relatively bad, but you still believe in the stock, you can play on that support area and carry it higher to the north side. Or if you see resistance like we just found at 510, right when it touched 510, this thing sold off 7%. We had a major player sell off. That's 7%. All the way down to 468, guys. So what is to come? I don't know for sure, but I tell you this, I am pumped to see what is to come. We might see in earnings expectations that blow things out of the water, but their forecast looks like crap. If that happens, we're going to see the stock fail. We're going to see it plummet. But things can be extremely unexpected. We might see a higher forecast like we were talking about earlier, where they're asking for, 3.7? And we see, let's see, their Q3, 3.37, excuse me. But then they come out with their earnings at 4.4, and then their forecast at 3.7. I was right, 3.78. And then it comes out and they say, hey, we're going to increase our forecast on our Q4 2023 to 4.4, 5.4. Hell, it would be amazing to hear him say 7.4 or 8. This stock will probably jump up 14%. And if you think I'm crazy for saying that, if we look back here on the year, let's just look back here at their, what Q is this? Earnings conference 5/24/23. This one here, it doesn't tell me, but that must have been Q2. Q1. So on Q1, it jumped up, let's see here, as high as 29%, guys. 29%. So when I say this thing could jump up 14%, that's relatively small compared to how high this could actually go. It really is. It's absolutely nuts just how high this can go. So just keep that in mind, guys. This isn't a trade. This is a gamble. If you're taking a trade now, it's a gamble, okay? Unless you're looking at a longer term. If you're looking at a longer term, it doesn't matter if you buy it here or if you buy it down at 400. I mean, depending on how much you buy, right? But, you want to make sure you're not gambling here. You're not taking a day trade on this or a small swing trade. This is a pretty big movement. This is a pretty big stock to be playing around with. So just keep that in mind. This isn't something that you want to take a gamble on. Personally, I do have money into this. I am biased, obviously, because I want to see this thing climb to the stinking moon. So I am talking bullish, but I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. This thing could absolutely fail on us, guys. This thing could just fall like a stinking rock. But we won't be able to tell until after the Q3 earnings call, which starts in roughly 10 minutes, 11 minutes, guys. And we'll have that earnings call up, and then they'll actually start talking at 5 p.m. Eastern, okay? So stick with me. Stick with me, baby, and we will listen to it together. We will watch the fluctuation. We've already seen some crazy movement. I mean, look at that. 7%, guys. I called it. I said, watch out. Be careful. I'm expecting some volatility. We've seen a little bit at the open. It wasn't much. It was still pretty exciting to watch. But then this 7% move, man. 510 to 468. Whew. I would hate to be a day trader playing that. That would have, I would have pooped a little. Maybe. Bring me the bedpan. I ain't getting up. I'm in front of this thing and I am nervous as hell, But right now, you know, I'm down a couple of bucks on this thing, but it's nothing. It's nothing to be worried about. I'm down about $80 on this trade. But like I said, guys, this is a long-term. This is a long-term outlook on this. I expect to lose a little before I gain a little. No pain, no gain, right? So this right here was some major pain. You guys ever watch that movie? Bubba, you ain't got no legs. I was a little kid when I watched that movie. It was a good one though. Let's see how we're doing here. Good. We got some keeping a good viewer stat. We've been open for a little over an hour now, guys. A little over an hour. Go ahead and smash that like button for me if you don't mind. If you don't know where it's at, I can give you a little peeky gander of where it's at. It's pretty simple. Let me bring this up on your screen here. If you scroll down here, right here's the like button. If you click it too many times, you'll unlike it. So make sure you smash that like button for me, guys. It does help preserve this channel. Go ahead and smash that like. Hit that subscribe if you like my content, if you want to be here for some more. I pop in from time to time. I think I'm going to be doing some more earnings just because they're so gosh darn exciting. I do love doing the earnings. And remember, if you're just joining me now, earnings does not actually start until 5 o'clock. Okay, so we are going to get it rolling at 5, but we'll be let in at 4:45. You can see right here, guys. Right here, I have the NVDA Q3 FY24 earnings call ready and raring to go. Tuesday, November 21st, 2023 at 5 p.m. Currently, it is 4:37, and we are allowed to be let in. It says right here, the lobby will open 15 minutes prior to the event starting. So we will be in the event 15 minutes prior before it actually starts. Right now, we're sitting back and watching the volatility, enjoying each other's company, and listening to some lo-fi music, baby. And that's what helps keep me calm, collected, and ready to rock. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of everything, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we will definitely be in this. We can even click on it now just to double check to see if it's going to let us in. And it's not just yet. So we will keep on keeping on. And we will watch this volatility. Currently, we're trading at 491, guys. NVIDIA is currently trading at 490.82. We are still seeing some volatility. We're still trading roughly in that area that we want to see it trade in. But what the real deal is the Q3 earnings and its future outlook on the stock. That future forecast is really going to be the tall tale on this. If we look back, we'll look all the way back to Q3 of 2021. They had surprise earnings of over 5%. Q4 of 2021, a surprise earnings of over 7%. Q1 of 2022, a surprise earnings of 4.72%, 4.5%, let's just say. Q2 of 2022, a surprise of 2.18%. Now, Q3, they had a surprise earnings that was below 17.76%, guys. So they took a big hit Q3 of 2022. Q4, they came back, though, with an 8% surprise. Q1, an 18% surprise. And Q2 of 2023, 30% surprise estimate. Their estimate was $2.8 billion. They came out with $2.70 billion of revenue reported. That's a 30% increase, and that is absolutely amazing. Oh yeah. I just had a buddy text me. I call him Hollywood. He's a good jiu-jitsu buddy of mine. He just said, be patient, and hopefully the video will drop back down to the fours in about a month. So he is expecting it to drop back down, and if it does, like I was telling you earlier, if it does drop back down, that's A-okay with me. I got a couple of shares sitting on the sidelines, so that way we can add into it. I'd love to add into it, but I also would hate to see this thing tank that far down. I'd like to see it keep on keeping on. Now, if we look at the actual technical pattern of this, I would like to call this the cup. Right? In William O'Neill's, the cup needs to be at least a 30% earns from the bottom. Okay, we're at roughly that, 25.79. it needs to be between 12 and 33%. So not at least 30%. We need this to be at least 30%. So off of this, okay, we have over 36%. It's actually 62% from its base. Now the cup needs to be between 12 and 33%, which is this here. And we're seeing, let's see, 17%. So right there in the middle of that. And then we want to see this cup within a 3 to 6 months. Yes, I'm reading it off my wall. 3 to 6 months. So this is August. August, September, October, November, December. November, sorry, we're not into December yet. So 1, 2, 3 months right there. So we're just hitting that 3 months area, 3 to 6 months. And then this is going to be considered the handle for me on the daily. Now, if we look at the weekly, which a lot of his examples are in, excuse me, this would be the cup right here, guys. Here's your cup. Here's your handle. Now, if we can break up and break out of this area, that's going to be a nice trade for the Can Slim investing. If you're not familiar, pick yourself up a book on how to make money in stocks. That is the Can Slim Investors 101. That cup and handle is a beautiful thing, beautiful way to trade as well. So, do. Alex C, are you still with us? If you are, let me know, brother. This one is for you, not for me. Oh, that's good stuff. I'm pumped about these earnings. We can't get any quicker. It looks like we can get in the lobby in about 3 minutes is what it's saying. 3 minutes we'll be able to get into that lobby. I'm pumped. Let's get into that lobby. Let's have ourselves a grand old time. I left my door open today. I was hoping my baby would come in here. I could show him off a little bit, love on him. Trying to keep it a little bit more open so it's not so serious. But, yeah, how you guys been doing? Pumped to be here. I hope you are pumped to be here as well. Got that lo-fi music playing in the background. I can't actually hear it right now. But I will have to remember to pause it once we get those Q3 earnings going. We'll just try and get in there again really quick. Click on that link. See if they open it up yet. They haven't opened up yet. Not yet. We will see. We will see. We'll see if they'll open it up and get us in here a little sooner. I'd love for that to happen. Let us in. Let me in. You guys know that meme. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. We'll see. It won't be long. It won't be long. They're going to be starting here soon. We got about 15, let's say 18 minutes actually, before the Q3 earnings will actually start. We have just a few more minutes and they will let us into the lobby, but they don't start until 5 o'clock. So thank you for joining me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to my humble commode, where we have bookshelves and energy drinks to keep us awake and alive. It says we have an excellent connection, and I'm pumped. We went through the earnings. We understand how NVDA works, but do we understand how NVDA works? I'm sure all of us are very well aware of their graphics, their graphic chips. I absolutely love them. I think it's amazing what they can do. But I'm telling you, this AI story is just so hot, you know, and it's been hot. You know, it's not just something that came and went. I tell you, the honest to God truth, when they first started bringing up AI, I thought, I've heard this story before. I've heard this before. And then I used ChatGPT. When I used ChatGPT, I thought, holy guacamole, this is absolutely amazing. And if you haven't, I encourage you to use it. I encourage you to look it up. I encourage you to use it. I encourage you to use anything that they're saying is the ChatGPT integration, like Dolly. There's just so much AI apps that you can try out and use. But I encourage you that you do use those. Give them a shot. See what you think, because they really are amazing. They are something else. They are they're so integrative. It's so much fun, and they keep upgrading them. Like if you go to DALL-E and start doing some like little pictures and stuff like that, the things that you can do with it. All right, let's see if they can let us into this lobby now. Let me see if I can get into this lobby. Let's see if they'll let us in just yet. Here we go. We're in the lobby. So this here's the lobby at the top left, guys. Straight up. You'll see I'm in the lobby now. We'll just minimize this so that way we don't... Here. And we'll put it there. We can blow this up. We'll make this the maximized cell. And we'll put this here. So now we have, this is the lobby. So you guys know that we are in the lobby. Right below me, right above me is the actual earnings. Their forecast is in the gray. Their previous forecasts are in the gray. The blue is the quarterly earnings previous to this. So that way you guys get a better understanding of what that is. And then you have the 1 minute chart right here. So that way we have all the information we need to help us understand what the heck is actually going on. So this earnings call is live. You will hear it when I hear it. It's going to be coming out of my speaker into the microphone that I'm using right now. So I hope the quality is good. Once they start talking, I will turn off the lo-fi music so that way we have a little bit more clear quality sound. So bear with me, guys. We have 15 more minutes till the Q3 earnings call actually is going to happen. So just bear with me, guys, and we will be sure to keep you updated, and we'll make sure that we know exactly what is going to go down. So get rid of this crap up at the top for you. Yes, sir. I'm pumped. I hope you guys are pumped too. Let's see. So we're in the lobby. They don't actually start until 5 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're not hearing them talk right now, don't be alarmed. It's going to start very, very soon. So stick with me. Starting at 5 p.m. I just put it in the chat that we're starting at 5 p.m. You can see this volatility. We've been talking about the volatility quite a bit lately, guys. This volatility is absolutely crazy. This volatility is 7% in the after hours. You don't see that. Only on Q3 earnings, right? Only on earnings day are you going to see volatility that is that bonkers. I mean, that is crazy. 7%. I mean, 7%. We're talking. You've given up quite a few days. 7%. When's the last time we've seen? Let's move out here. Let's look at the hourly. Okay, here's the hourly. You could see the last time we seen this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days ago. So literally in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, guys, we gave up 8 days worth of earnings, right? And now here we are right back to this. All right. So it's just something else. It's absolutely crazy how volatile this can get. And that's why when I say these things are a gamble, that's why I say that. I say these things are a gamble because the volatility that can pop up with this. Okay? So yeah, keep that in mind, guys. So we shouldn't have too much longer. Stick with me. We're gonna have the earnings popping off here in just a minute, guys. Just a minute. We got about, let's see, 13, let's see, 4:48. Yeah, we got about 12 minutes. 12 minutes until the earnings will start. So stick with me, guys. We got 12 minutes, and the earnings are going to start. And then I will keep my loud mouth shut so we can hear everything that they are saying. Yeah, B. Stewie. Glad to see you on, brother. Let's go. Yeah, baby. You know, I tell you what, it's really good to see you on here, B. Stewie. I didn't want to send out like a mass text or anything to get everybody in here. I figured, hey, if they're seeing me, they'll see me pop on. They'll be popping off with me. So, B. Stewie, thanks for joining me, brother. I'm guessing you're in the Nerve Center. Are you in the Nerve Center? I'll tell you this. Check this out. I still got it. It's all right here. Look at this. This beautiful thing, baby. I love it. I love it, man. It's a bull. And that's what I'm hoping for today. I'm hoping we are bullish today on NVIDIA's earnings. If not, hey, it is what it is. This is a long-term investment. And I really do hope we do get a nice long-term investment out of it. So glad to see you too, brother. I hope all is well. I hope the boy's doing good. Hope the wife's happy. And I hope you're happy mostly. All right? So we are actually in an earnings call. They're going to be starting in 10 minutes. 10 minutes is the earnings call. We have it up right here. This earnings call is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We're going to have some fun with it, guys. Yeah, Q3 earnings. Right here you can see this is the NVDA Corporation, all the previous earnings calls, the forecast that we have. But yeah. Yeah. Nerve center, baby. The nerve center. Heck, I got coffee from the nerve center. Right here. I drank it all, but I got the nerve center coffee right here. No big deal. It's empty. It still smells amazing. There's probably a shot of coffee left in there, like a sip left. I love it. But yeah, we're gonna have an awesome time. I have made a trade in this. I have an average around $500. I have about $20,000 into NVIDIA, so it'd be great. It'd be great if I, made a little money on this. If not, it's a long-term hold. I'll be holding on to this for quite some time. I'm excited about it, regardless. If we go up or down, I'm going to be holding on to this stock. I have a 5-year projection for this. So I've invested $20,000 of my and my wife's hard-earned money into this. If we go back down to see those $400 areas, just keep your sprinkles in that can, absolutely. If we see this thing come down to 400, I'm going to add 10 more shares, a total of $25,000 then. And it's a 5-year forecast for myself. I want to hold on to these guys for 5 years because I do believe in AI. I do believe in NVIDIA. But these aren't buy or sell recommendations, obviously. You know the YouTube spiel. This is just what I'm doing. I'm doing this for entertainment for you. And it looks like we have about 8 more minutes. You can see that we are in the NVIDIA Q3 earnings call just above us. You will hear them popping off. They'll hear them speaking real soon. Right away, guys. Right away. In 2 minutes, we had a 7%. We had seen a high of 509.17, and it came all the way down here to that 468. That is absolutely bonkers, guys, to see a 7% move in the after hours, right? The only time you're really going to see that is with penny stocks or in earnings. And that's what we're here for today, right? We're here to see these earnings. We're here to see what happens next. So once they start talking, I will stop talking and I will turn off the lo-fi music so that way we can hear and understand these guys better. We have 8 more minutes, guys. 8 minutes until this earning call starts, and I am excited if you haven't found out already. These two, I'm pumped in. I'm in the nerve center. Am I up on the TV? Look at me in the nerve center. It's good to see you, man. I'm pumped you're in here, man. It's always good to have friends while you're streaming. And I am pumped. I am pumped. I'm pumped. And guys, if you haven't already, this is what I want you to do for me. If you haven't already, I want you to smash that like button. Smash that like button for me. Show that love. It's right at the bottom left of the screen, almost right where I'm at. I might be pressing it right now. If not, press it for me. Can't really hit it that well. But smash that like button. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. It definitely helps the channel. I'm happy to be here, and I hope you are just as happy to be here with me. But we have the earnings. The forecast right here is in the gray. The actual earnings, the reported, is in the blue. This is what we have going on right here for you. And then all these right here, this is your daily time, or I'm sorry, your 1 minute time frame, so we can actually see what happens in real time. It looks like the meeting is going to start in 6 minutes. I hope they're not late. I don't like when people are late, but I am hoping that we get a nice forecast out of this. It'd be nice to have a beautiful forecast come out for the NVIDIA Corporation. Obviously, I have bias, right? I have a biasy as simple as me taking a trade in this. If I'm long, I obviously am biased, right? And if you're not, oh, what's up? Hang on. Joshi, right? Hello, hope you are doing well. NVIDIA pending level 450, then up again. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Joshi. I'm expecting probably a pullback as well. And we already seen a 7% pullback down there to 468 after it touched 409.17. That thing pulled back 7%. Absolutely crazy. But it is so good to have you in here, Joshi. I really, really miss you guys. I really wish I could do this thing full time. Joshi said, right now I'm mostly on Thinkorswim with Bookmap. Yeah, absolutely. The ES channel. Yeah, I use the Bookmap thing for quite some time. I found it was just, for me, it was just another piece of the puzzle. It's nice to have. It's nice to see those big blips of where the traders are at. Absolutely phenomenal to see, you know. But Joshi, it's awesome to have you in here. Thanks for popping in. I hope you're doing awesome. How have you been? How is your trading going? We have 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes until the earnings is going to start popping off. I'm so pumped to hear it. This is my first time doing an earnings call. I'd love to do more earnings call. It's going to fit my my schedule a lot better anyway to do earnings calls. So we might do some more earnings calls in the future, especially because it's nice to chat with you guys. You know, especially you, Joshi, an experienced trader like yourself, to actually see, you know, what you guys have been up to and how things are going. So, oh, it looks like they just released their earnings. It just popped up, which is very interesting, and that's what's silly, because it's saying it's live right now. It does not have anything. There's no. Okay, it is live. So they released their earnings. Let's see. They beat. Let me see if it'll allow me. This just popped up here. Let's see here, guys. Well, that's odd. It looks like they just released, but we are still waiting. So I'm going to turn off the lo-fi music really quick. All right, the lo-fi music's off. The music that you're going to hear in the background is going to be the earnings call music that is live. All right. And we're just waiting for them to pop in. You can see up at the top here, right up here at the top, you'll see this is the earnings call. This right here, guys. This is the earnings. The call, it's online, and we're just waiting for them to pop in and start chit-chatting with us. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. My system is doing excellent. Started trading classes. 5K fee I'm taking. Wow, dude. Well, you know, I guess, you know, it is what it is. You know? Yep. I feel like you can get all your information on YouTube for free. And if you just keep working on it, you know, you can do whatever. So I'm not promoting anything. I hope you're not promoting anything, Joshi. But, yeah, it's good. It's really, really good. It's excellent that you are doing awesome, that you have a system. And I am happy for you, buddy. Me personally, I stepped away from trading just for a very short period of time so that way I could start getting my insurance back up, because I had some issues with my knee. As you guys know, my meniscus was torn. Without the health insurance, though, I went back to work, got some health insurance. Now I am booked. I'm booked for a I'm booked for surgery here very soon. So, all right, we should be getting an earnings call in 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes till the earnings call. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep on keeping on, hopefully. As long as my schedule permits, we're going to do more earnings calls in the future. We like to read the stories about things we like to hear. And, yeah, I'd love to see the earnings and the forecast do very, very well. That would be absolutely amazing. So, earnings came out. Looks like the earnings were pretty well. Let's see. Can we get an update on this? 3.7. Very interesting. I'll have to look into that. So, guys, if you don't know, 1 minute. 1 minute till the earnings call comes out. Bye for now. Take care. Hey, Joshi, thanks for stopping in, brother. Soon thinking of starting a YouTube channel. Yeah, absolutely, Joshi. Jedi, what's up? He says, Lo-Fi, how you doing? Good to hear you. Jedi, it is good to see you, buddy. I'm glad you could stop in and say hi. Thank you, thank you. I'm doing awesome, man. You know, family stuff kind of gets in the way from time to time. But, hey, we're here, baby. We're here, you know. So I'm glad we got good connection. I'm glad to see all of my friends are popping in, saying hello. It's good to hear from you. It's good to see you. This earnings should be starting in 1 minute. Their earnings call should be starting now, guys. Once they start and I start hearing them chat, The only thing I would like is a little bit of feedback on the sound quality when they do start talking. Oh, I thought they were going to start talking right there. The music kind of slowly cut out. So, yeah, guys, you need to let me know, though, once they start talking. I would like a little bit of feedback to hear if you can hear them, what the quality is like, so that way I can fix it for next time. If it's good, if it's bad, if you need me to turn it up or not. Right now, currently, NVIDIA is trading at $495.37. It looks like this is where we're going to get the forecast. It looks like they beat, I don't want to say it for sure. What's up, dude? My little man's here. He's here for the earnings call. Right here he is. What's up? Say hi, YouTube. What up, YouTube? It's my little man. He's already getting big, man. He's eating a marshmallow. Oh, you can't work. You can't trade right now. You've made enough money, okay? You've made enough money. Yep. Yeah, so they're late. They're a minute late on their earnings call, but we're waiting for it. Once they start chit-chattering, you won't hear me blabble. You won't hear me blab anymore. All right, here we got this little man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You like the music? You like the music? Say lo-fi? Can you say lo-fi? Oh, high five? That sounds like lo-fi. All right, currently we're trading at $493. It looks like we are starting to head to the downside right now. I'm excited to see what their forecast brings.
Good afternoon. My name is JL, and I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to NVIDIA's third quarter earnings call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star.
Let me know, guys. Can you hear them okay? Can you hear the earnings calls okay?
To withdraw your question, again, press the star 1. Thank you. Mona Chakowski, you may now begin your conference.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to NVIDIA's conference call for the third quarter of fiscal 2024. With me today from NVIDIA are Jensen Huang, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Colette Kress, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. I'd like to remind you that our call is being webcast live on NVIDIA's Investor Relations website. The webcast will be available for replay until the conference call to discuss our financial results for the fourth quarter and fiscal 2024. The content of today's call is NVIDIA's property. It can be reproduced or transcribed without our prior written consent. During this call, we may make forward-looking statements based on current expectations. These are subject to a number of significant risks and uncertainties, and our actual results may differ materially. For a discussion of factors that could affect our future financial results and business, please refer to the disclosure in today's earnings release, our most recent Forms 10-K and 10-Q, and the reports that we may file on Form 8-K with the Securities and Exchange Commission. All statements are made as of today, November 21st, 2023, based on information currently available to us. Except as required by law, we assume no obligation to update any statements. During this call, we will discuss non-GAAP financial measures. You can find a reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial measures to GAAP financial measures in our CFO commentary, which is posted on our website. With that, let me turn the call over to Colette.
Thanks, Simona. Q3 was another record quarter. Revenue of $18.1 billion was up 34% sequentially and up more than 200% year on year.
200%?
Our outlook of $16 billion. Starting with data center. The continued ramp of the NVIDIA HGX platform based on our Hopper Tensor Core GPU architecture, along with InfiniBand end-to-end networking, drove record revenue of $14.5 billion, up 41% sequentially and up 279% year on year. NVIDIA HGX with InfiniBand together are essentially the reference architecture for AI supercomputers and data center infrastructures. Some of the most exciting generative AI applications are built and run on NVIDIA, including Adobe Firefly, ChatGPT, Microsoft 365 Copilot, CoAssist, Now Assist with ServiceNow, and Zoom AI Companion. Our data center compute revenue quadrupled from last year, and networking revenue nearly tripled. investment in infrastructure for training and inferencing large language models, deep learning recommender systems, and generative AI applications is fueling strong, broad-based demand for NVIDIA accelerated computing. Inferencing is now a major workload for NVIDIA AI computing. Consumer internet companies and enterprises drove exceptional sequential growth in Q3, comprising approximately half of our data center revenue and outpacing total growth. Companies like Meta are in full production with deep learning recommender systems and also investing in generative AI to help advertisers optimize images and text. Most major consumer internet companies are racing to ramp up generative AI deployment. The enterprise wave of AI adoption is now beginning. Enterprise software companies such as Adobe, Databricks, Snowflake, and ServiceNow are adding AI copilots and assistants to their platforms. And broader enterprises are developing custom AI for vertical industry applications such as Tesla and autonomous driving. Cloud service providers drove roughly the other half of our data center revenue in the quarter. Demand was strong from all hyperscale CSPs, as well as from a broadening set of GPU specialized CSPs globally that are rapidly growing to address the new market opportunities in AI. NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPU instances are now generally available in virtually every cloud, with instances in high demand. We have significantly increased supply every quarter this year to meet strong demand and expect to continue to do so next year. We will also have a broader and faster product launch cadence to meet a growing and diverse set of AI opportunities. Toward the end of the quarter, the U.S. government announced a new set of export control regulations for China and other markets, including Vietnam and certain countries in the Middle East. These regulations require licenses for the export of a number of our products, including our Hopper and Ampere 100 and 800 series, and several others. Our sales to China and other affected destinations derived from products that are now subject to licensing requirements have consistently contributed approximately 20 to 25% of data center revenue over the past few quarters. We expect that our sales to these destinations will decline significantly in the fourth quarter.
Ooh, that's not good.
They'll be more than offset by strong growth in other regions. The U.S. government designed the regulations to allow the U.S. industry to provide data center compute products to markets worldwide, including China. Continuing to compete worldwide, as the regulations encourage, promotes U.S. technology leadership, spurs economic growth, and supports U.S. jobs. For the highest performance levels, the government requires licenses. For lower performance levels, the government requires a streamlined prior notification process. And for products even lower performance levels, the government does not require any notice at all. Following the government's clear guidelines, we are working to expand our data center product portfolio to offer compliant solutions for each regulatory category, including products for which the U.S. government does not wish to have advance notice before each shipment. We are working with some customers in China and the Middle East to pursue licenses from the U.S. government. It is too early to know whether these will be granted for any significant amount of revenue. Many countries are awakening to the need to invest in sovereign AI infrastructure to support economic growth and industrial innovation. With investments in domestic compute capacity, nations can use their own data to train LLMs and support their local generative AI ecosystems. For example, we are working with India's government and largest tech companies, including Infosys, Reliance, and Tata to boost their sovereign AI infrastructure. And French private cloud provider Scaleway is building a regional AI cloud based on NVIDIA H100, InfiniBand, and NVIDIA AI enterprise software to fuel advancement across France and Europe. National investment in compute capacity is a new economic imperative, and serving the sovereign AI infrastructure market represents a multi-billion-dollar opportunity over the next few years. From a product perspective, the vast majority of revenue in Q3 was driven by the NVIDIA HGX platform based on our Hopper GPU architecture, with lower contribution from the prior generation Ampere GPU architecture. The new L40S GPU built for industry standard servers began to ship, supporting training and inference workloads across a variety of customers. This was also the first revenue quarter of our GH200 Grace Hopper superchip, which combines our ARM-based Grace CPU with a Hopper GPU. Grace and Grace Hopper are ramping into a new multi-billion-dollar product line. Grace Hopper instances are now available at GPU specialized cloud providers and coming soon to Oracle Cloud. Grace Hopper is also getting significant traction with supercomputing customers. Initial system shipments to Los Alamos National Lab and the Swiss National Supercomputing Center took place in the third quarter. The UK government announced it will build one of the world's fastest AI supercomputers, called Isambard AI, with almost 5,500 Grace Hopper superchips. German Supercomputing Center, ULEC, also announced that it will build its next generation AI supercomputer with close to 24,000 Grace Hopper superchips and Quantum 2 InfiniBand, making it the world's most powerful AI supercomputer with over 90 exaflops of AI performance. All in, we estimate that the combined AI compute capacity of all the supercomputers built on Grace Hopper across the US, Europe, and Japan next year will exceed 200 exaflops, with more wins to come. Inference is contributing significantly to our data center demand as AI is now in full production for deep learning, recommenders, chatbots, co-pilots, and text-to-image generation. And this is just the beginning. NVIDIA AI offers the best inference performance and versatility, and thus the lower power and cost of ownership. We are also driving a fast cost reduction curve. With the release of NVIDIA TensorRT LLM, we now achieve more than 2x the inference performance or half the cost of inferencing LLMs on NVIDIA GPUs. We also announced the latest member of the Hopper family, the H200, which will be the first GPU to offer HBM3E, faster, larger memory to further accelerate generative AI and LLMs. It boosts inference speed up to another 2x compared to H100 GPUs for running LLMs like Llama 2. Combined TensorRT LLM and H200 increased performance or reduced cost by 4x in just 1 year, without customers changing their stack. This is a benefit of CUDA and our architecture compatibility. Compared to the A100, H200 delivers an 18x performance increase for inferencing models like GPT-3, allowing customers to move to larger models and with no increase in latency. Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and Oracle Cloud will be among the first CSPs to offer H200-based instances starting next year. At last week's Microsoft Ignite, we deepened and expanded our collaboration with Microsoft across the entire stack.
Hell yeah.
We introduced an AI Foundry service for the development and tuning of custom generative AI enterprise applications running on Azure.
That's what we want to hear.
Customers can bring their domain knowledge and proprietary data, and we help them build their AI models using our AI expertise and software stack in our DGX cloud, all with enterprise-grade security and support. SAP and Amdocs are the first customers of the NVIDIA AI Foundry service on Microsoft Azure. In addition, Microsoft will launch new confidential computing instances based on the H100. The H100 remains the top performing and most versatile platform for AI training, and by a wide margin, as shown in the latest MLPerf industry benchmark results. Our training cluster included more than 10,000 H100 GPUs, or 3x more than in June, reflecting very efficient scaling. Efficient scaling is a key requirement in generative AI because LLMs are growing by an order of magnitude every year. Microsoft Azure achieved similar results on a nearly identical cluster, demonstrating the efficiency of NVIDIA AI in public cloud deployments. Networking now exceeds a $10 billion annualized revenue run rate. Strong growth was driven by exceptional demand for InfiniBand, which grew fivefold year on year. InfiniBand is critical to gaining the scale and performance needed for training LLMs. Microsoft made this very point last week, highlighting that Azure uses over 29,000 miles of InfiniBand cabling, enough to circle the globe. We are expanding NVIDIA networking into the Ethernet space. Our new Spectrum X end-to-end Ethernet offering with technologies purpose-built for AI will be available in Q1 next year, with support from leading OEMs including Dell, HPE, and Lenovo. Spectrum X can achieve 1.6x higher networking performance for AI communication compared to traditional Ethernet offerings. Let me also provide an update on our software and services offerings, where we are starting to see excellent adoption. We are on track to exit the year at an annualized revenue run rate of $1 billion for our recurring software, support, and services offerings. We see two primary opportunities for growth over the intermediate term, with our DGX cloud service and with our NVIDIA AI enterprise software. Each reflects the growth of enterprise AI training and enterprise AI inference, respectively. Our latest DGX Cloud customer announcement was this morning as part of an AI research collaboration with Genentech. The biotechnology pioneer also plans to use our BioNeMo LLM framework to help accelerate and optimize their AI drug discovery platform. We now have enterprise AI partnerships with Adobe, Dropbox, Getty, SAP, ServiceNow, Snowflake, and others to come. Okay, moving to gaming. Gaming revenue of $2.86 billion was up 15% sequentially and up more than 80% year on year. With strong demand,
80% year over year.
School shopping season, with NVIDIA RTX ray tracing and AI technology now available at price points as low as $299. We enter the holidays with the best ever lineup for gamers and creators. Gaming has doubled relative to pre-COVID levels, even against the backdrop of lackluster PC market performance. This reflects the significant value we've brought to the gaming ecosystem with innovations like RTX and DLSS. The number of games and applications supporting these technologies has exploded in that period, driving upgrades and attracting new buyers. The RTX ecosystem continues to grow. There are now over 475 RTX-enabled games and applications. Generative AI is quickly emerging as the new killer app for high-performance PCs. NVIDIA RTX GPUs define the most performant AI PCs and workstations. We just released TensorRT LLM for Windows, which speeds on-device LLM inference up by 4x. With an installed base of over 100 million, NVIDIA RTX is the natural platform for AI application developers. Finally, our GeForce Now cloud gaming service continues to build momentum. Its library of PC games surpassed 1,700 titles, including the launches of Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, and Starfield. Moving to ProViz. Revenue of $416 million was up 10% sequentially and up 108% year-on-year. NVIDIA RTX is the workstation platform of choice for professional design, engineering, and simulation use cases, and AI is emerging as a powerful demand driver. Early applications include inference for AI imaging in healthcare and edge AI in smart spaces and the public sector. We launched a new line of desktop workstations based on NVIDIA RTX Ada Lovelace generation GPUs and ConnectX Smart NICs, offering up to 2x the AI processing, ray tracing, and graphics performance of the previous generations. These powerful new workstations are optimized for AI workloads, such as fine-tuning AI models, training smaller models, and running inference locally. We continue to make progress on Omniverse, our software platform for designing, building, and operating 3D virtual worlds. Mercedes-Benz is using Omniverse-powered digital twins to plan, design, build, and operate its manufacturing and assembly facilities, helping it increase efficiency and reduce defects. Foxconn is also incorporating Omniverse into its manufacturing process, including end-to-end simulation for the entire robotics and automation pipeline, saving time and cost. We announced 2 new Omniverse cloud services for automotive digitalization available on Microsoft Azure, a virtual factory simulation engine, and autonomous vehicle simulation engine. Moving to automotive. Revenue was $261 million, up 3% sequentially and up 4% year-on-year, primarily driven by continued growth in self-driving platforms based on NVIDIA Drive Orin SoC and the ramp of AI cockpit solutions with global OEM customers. We extended our automotive partnership with Foxconn to include NVIDIA Drive Thor, our next-generation automotive SoC. Foxconn has become the ODM for EVs. Our partnership provides Foxconn with a standard AV sensor and computing platform for their customers to easily build a state-of-the-art, safe and secure software-defined car. Now we're going to move to the rest of the P&L. GAAP gross margin expanded to 74% and non-GAAP gross margin to 75%, driven by higher data center sales and lower net inventory reserves, including a 1 percentage point benefit from the release of previously reserved inventory related to the Ampere GPU architecture products. Sequentially, GAAP operating expenses were up 12% and non-GAAP operating expenses were up 10%, primarily reflecting increased compensation and benefits. Let me turn to the fourth quarter of fiscal 2024. Total revenue is expected to be $20 billion, plus or minus 2%.
$20 billion?
We expect strong sequential growth to be driven by data center, with continued strong demand for both compute and networking. Gaming will likely decline sequentially as it is now more aligned with notebook seasonality. GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins are expected to be 74.5 and 75.5 respectively, plus or minus 50 basis points. GAAP and non-GAAP operating expenses are expected to be approximately $3.17 billion and $2.2 billion respectively. GAAP and non-GAAP other income and expenses are expected to be an income of approximately $200 million, excluding gains and losses from non-affiliated investments. GAAP and non-GAAP tax rates are expected to be 15%, plus or minus 1%, excluding any discrete items. Further financial information are included in the CFO commentary and other information available on our IR website. In closing, let me highlight some upcoming events for the financial community. We will attend the UBS Global Technology Conference in Scottsdale, Arizona on November 28th, the Wells Fargo QMT Summit in Rancho Palo Verde, California on November 29th, the ARETA Virtual Tech Conference on December 7th, and the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference in San Francisco on January 8th. Our earnings call to discuss the results of our fourth quarter and fiscal 2024 is scheduled for Wednesday, February 21st. We will now open the call for questions. Operator, will you please poll for questions?
At this time, I would like to remind everyone, in order to ask a question, please press star and the number 1 on your telephone keypad. We'll pause for just a moment to compile the Q&A roster. As a reminder, please limit yourself to one question. Your first question comes from the line of Vivek Arya of Bank of America. Your line is open.
Thanks for taking my question. Colette wanted to clarify what China contributions are you expecting in Q4? And then Jensen, the main question is for you. Where do you think we are in the adoption curve in terms of your shipments into the generative AI market? Because when I just look at the trajectory of your data center growth, it will be close to nearly 30% of all the spending in data center next year. So what metrics are you keeping an eye on to inform you that you can continue to grow? Just where are we in the adoption curve of your products into the generative AI market? Thank you.
Let me start with your question, Vivek, on export controls and the impact that we are seeing in our Q4 outlook and guidance that we provided. We had seen historically over the last several quarters that China and some of the other impacted destinations to be about 20 to 25% of our data center revenue. We are expecting in our guidance for that to decrease substantially as we move into Q4. The export controls will have a negative effect on our China business, and we do not have good visibility into the magnitude of that impact even over the long term. We are, though, working to expand our data center product portfolio to possibly offer new regulation-compliant solutions that do not require a license. These products, they may become available in the next coming months. However, we don't expect their contribution to be material or meaningful.
Volume starting to pick up. Prices at $497.40.
Generative AI is the largest TAM expansion of software and hardware that we've seen in several decades. At the core of it, what's really exciting is that what was largely a retrieval-based computing approach, almost everything that you do is retrieved off of storage somewhere, has been augmented now, added with a generative method, and it's changed almost everything. You could see that text to text, text to image, text to video, text to 3D, text to protein, text to chemicals. These were things that were processed and typed in by humans in the past, and these are now generative approaches. The way that we access data is changed. It used to be based on explicit queries. It is now based on natural language queries, intention queries, semantic queries. And so we're excited about the work that we're doing with SAP and Dropbox and many others that you're going to hear about. And one of the areas that is really impactful is the software industry, which is about $1 trillion or so, has been building tools that are manually used over the last couple of decades. And now there's a whole new segment of software called copilots and assistants. Instead of manually used, these tools will have copilots to help you use it. And so instead of licensing software, we will continue to do that, of course, but we will also hire copilots and assistants to help us use the software. We'll connect all of these copilots and assistants into teams of AIs, which is going to be the modern version of software, modern version of enterprise business software. And so the transformation of software and the way that software is done is driving the hardware underneath. And you can see that it's transforming hardware in two ways. One is something that's largely independent of generative AI. There's two trends. One is related to accelerated computing. General purpose computing is too wasteful of energy and cost. And now that we have much better approaches called accelerated computing, you could save an order of magnitude of energy, you could save an order of magnitude of time, or you could save an order of magnitude of cost by using acceleration. And so accelerated computing is transitioning, if you will, general purpose computing into this new approach. And that's been augmented by a new class of data centers. This is the traditional data centers that you were just talking about, where we represent about a third of that. But there's a new class of data centers, and this new class of data centers is unlike the data centers of the past, where you have a lot of applications running used by a great many people that are different tenants that are using the same infrastructure, and that data center stores a lot of files. These new data centers are very few applications, if not one application, used by basically one tenant. And it processes data, it trains models, and it generates tokens, it generates AI. And we call these new data centers AI factories. We're seeing AI factories being built out everywhere, in just about every country. And so if you look at the way where we are in the expansion, the transition into this new computing approach, the first wave you saw with large language model startups, generative AI startups, and consumer internet companies. And we're in the process of ramping that. Meanwhile, while that's being ramped, you see that we're starting to partner with enterprise software companies who would like to build chatbots and copilots and assistants to augment the tools that they have on their platforms. You're seeing GPU specialized CSPs cropping up all over the world, and they're dedicated to doing really one thing, which is processing AI. You're seeing sovereign AI infrastructures, countries that now recognize that they have to utilize their own data, keep their own culture, process that data, and develop their own AI. You see that in India. About a year ago in Sweden. You're seeing in Japan. Last week, a big announcement in France. But the number of sovereign AI clouds that are being built is really quite significant. And my guess is that almost every major region will have, and surely every major country will have their own AI clouds. And so I think you're seeing just new developments as the generative AI wave propagates through every industry, every company, every region, and so we're at the beginning of this inflection, this computing transition.
I sure hope so.
Your next question comes from the line of Aaron Rakers of Wells Fargo. Your line is open.
Yeah, thanks for taking the question. I wanted to ask about kind of the networking side of the business. Given the growth rates that you've now cited, I think it's 155% year over year and strong growth sequentially. It looks like that business is like almost approaching a $2.5 to $3 billion quarterly level. I'm curious of how you see Ethernet evolving, and maybe how you would characterize your differentiation of Spectrum X relative to the traditional Ethernet stack as we start to think about that becoming part of the networking narrative above and maybe beyond just InfiniBand as we look into next year?
All great questions so far. All great questions.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Our networking business is already at a $10 billion plus run rate, and it's going to get much larger. And as you mentioned, we added a new networking platform to our networking business recently. The vast majority of the dedicated large-scale AI factories standardize on InfiniBand. And the reason for that is not only because of its data rate, and not only just the latency, but the way that it moves traffic around the network is really important. The way that you process AI and a multi-tenant hyperscale Ethernet environment, the traffic pattern is just radically different. And with InfiniBand and with software-defined networks, we could do congestion control, adaptive routing, performance isolation and noise isolation, not to mention, of course, the data rate and low latency and the very low overhead of InfiniBand that's natural part of InfiniBand. And so InfiniBand is not so much just a network, it's also a computing fabric. We put a lot of software-defined capabilities into the fabric, including computation. We'll do floating point calculations and computation right on the switch and right in the fabric itself. And so that's the reason why that difference in Ethernet versus InfiniBand, or InfiniBand versus Ethernet for AI factories, is so dramatic. And the difference is profound. And the reason for that is because you just invested in a $2 billion infrastructure for AI factories. A 20, 25, 30% difference in overall effectiveness, especially as you scale up, is measured in hundreds of millions of dollars of value. And if you were renting that infrastructure over the course of 4 or 5 years, it really, really adds up. And so InfiniBand's value proposition is undeniable for AI factories. However, as we move AI into enterprise, this is enterprise computing, where we like to enable every company to be able to build their own custom AIs. We're building custom AIs in our company based on our proprietary data, our proprietary type of skills. For example, recently we spoke about one of the models that we're creating. It's called ChipNemo. We're building many others. There'll be tens, hundreds of custom AI models that we create inside our company. And our company is, for all of our employee use, doesn't have to be as high performance as the AI factories we use to train the models. And so we would like the AI to be able to run in an Ethernet environment. And so what we've done is we invented this new platform that extends Ethernet. It doesn't replace Ethernet. It's 100% compliant with Ethernet. And it's optimized for east-west traffic, which is where the computing fabric is. It adds to Ethernet with an end-to-end solution with Bluefield, as well as our Spectrum switch that allows us to perform some of the capabilities that we have in InfiniBand, not all, but some. And we achieve excellent results. And the way we go to market is we go to market with our large enterprise partners who already offer our computing solution. And so HP, Dell, and Lenovo has the NVIDIA AI stack, the NVIDIA AI enterprise software stack, and now they integrate with Bluefield, as well as bundle, take to market their Spectrum switch, and they'll be able to offer enterprise customers all over the world with their vast sales force and vast network of resellers, and a fully integrated, if you will, fully optimized at least, end-to-end AI solution. And so that's basically it. Bringing AI to Ethernet for the world's enterprise.
Thank you. Your next question comes from the line of Joe Moore of Morgan Stanley. Your line is open.
Great, thank you. I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about Gray Copper and how you see the ability to leverage kind of the microprocessor, how you see that as a TAM expander, and what applications do you see using Gray Copper versus more traditional H100 applications?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Grace Hopper is in production, in high volume production now. We're expecting next year, just with all of the design wins that we have in high performance computing and AI infrastructures, we are on a very, very fast ramp with our first data center CPU to a multi-billion-dollar product line. This is going to be a very large product line for us. The capability of Grace Hopper is really quite spectacular. It has the ability to create computing nodes that simultaneously has very fast memory as well as very large memory. In the areas of vector databases or semantic search, what is called RAG, retrieval augmented generation, so that you could have a generative AI model be able to refer to proprietary data or factual data before it generates a response. That data is quite large, and you could also have applications or generative models where the context length is very high. You basically stored an entire book into its system memory before you ask the questions, and so the context length could be quite large. This way, the generative models have the ability to still be able to naturally interact with you on one hand. On the other hand, be able to refer to factual data, proprietary data, or domain-specific data, your data, and be contextually relevant and reduce hallucination. And so that particular use case, for example, is really quite fantastic for Grace Hopper. It also serves the customers that really care to have a different CPU than x86. Maybe it's European supercomputing centers or European companies who would like to build up their own ARM ecosystem and like to build up a full stack, or CSPs that have decided that they would like to pivot to ARM because their own custom CPUs are based on ARM. There are a variety of different reasons that drives the success of Grace Hopper, but we're off to just an extraordinary start. This is a home run product.
Your next question comes from the line of Tim Arcuri of UBS. Your line is open.
Hi, thanks. I wanted to ask a little bit about the visibility that you have on revenue. I know there's a few moving parts. I guess on one hand, the purchase commitments went up a lot again, but on the other hand, China bans would arguably pull in when you can fill the demand beyond China. So I know we're not even into 2024 yet, and it doesn't sound like, Jensen, you think that next year would be a peak in your data center revenue, but I just wanted to sort of explicitly ask you that. Do you think that data center can grow even into 2025? Thanks.
Absolutely believe that data center can grow through 2025.
NVIDIA's back up to 496, guys. 496, back up to the volume-weighted average price, the VWAP area.
Quite significantly. And we have already one of the broadest and largest and most capable supply chain in the world. Remember, people think that the GPU is a chip, but the HGX H100, the Hopper HGX, has 35,000 parts. It weighs 70 pounds. 8 of the chips are Hopper. The other 35,000 are not. It has even its passive components are incredible. High voltage parts, high frequency parts, high current parts. It is a supercomputer, and therefore the only way to test a supercomputer is with another supercomputer. Even the manufacturing of it is complicated. The testing of it is complicated. The shipping of it is complicated, and installation is complicated. And so every aspect of our HGX supply chain is complicated. And the remarkable team that we have here has really scaled out that supply chain incredibly. Not to mention, all of our HGXs are connected with NVDA networking, and the networking, the transceivers, the NICs, the cables, the switches, the amount of complexity there is just incredible. And So I'm just, first of all, I'm just super proud of the team for scaling up this incredible supply chain. We are absolutely world-class. But meanwhile, we're adding new customers and new products. So we have new supply, we have new customers, as I was mentioning earlier. Different regions are standing up GPU specialist clouds, sovereign AI clouds coming up from all over the world as people realize that they can't afford to export their country's knowledge, their country's culture for somebody else to then resell AI back to them. They have the skills, and surely with us, in combination, we can help them do that, build up their national AI. And so the first thing that they have to do is create their AI cloud, national AI cloud. You're also seeing us now growing into enterprise. The enterprise market has two paths. One path, or if I could say three paths. The first path, of course, is off-the-shelf AI. And there are, of course, ChatGPT, the fabulous off-the-shelf AI. There'll be others. There's also proprietary AI, because these software companies like ServiceNow and SAP, and there are many, many others, can't afford to have their company's intelligence be outsourced to somebody else. And they are about building tools, and on top of their tools, they should build custom and proprietary and domain-specific co-pilots and assistants that they can then rent to their customer base. They're sitting on a gold mine. Almost every major tools company in the world is sitting on a gold mine, and they recognize that. They have to go build their own custom AIs. We have a new service called an AI Foundry, where we leverage NVDA's capabilities to be able to serve them in that. And then the next one is enterprises building their own custom AIs, their own custom chatbots, their own custom RAGs. And this capability is spreading all over the world. And the way that we're going to serve that marketplace is with the entire stacks of systems, which includes our compute, our networking, and our switches, running our software stack called NVIDIA AI Enterprise, taking it through our market, partners, HP, Dell, Lenovo, so on and so forth. And so we're seeing the waves of generative AI starting from the startups and CSPs, moving to consumer internet companies, moving to enterprise software platforms, moving to enterprise companies, and ultimately one of the areas that you guys have seen us spend a lot of energy on has to do with industrial.
I can hear my baby outside the door.
NVIDIA AI and NVIDIA Omniverse comes together.
He's having a blast.
That is a really, really exciting work. And so I think we're at the beginning of a basically across the board industrial transition to generative AI, to accelerated computing. This is going to affect every company, every industry, every country.
I hope he's right. I really hope he's right. I really think if this is the start of generative AI and we're just touching the surface of this, we have unlimited growth here.
Real quick, and then I had a question for Jensen as well. Colette, you mentioned that you'll be introducing regulation-compliant products over the next, couple of months. Yet the contribution to Q4.
Hit that like, hit that subscribe, guys. We're going to be doing more earnings in the future. Big earnings. We'll be live.
Could it be a source of re-acceleration and growth for data center in April and beyond, or are the price points such that the contribution to revenue going forward should be relatively limited? And then the question for Jensen, the AI Foundry service announcement from last week, I just wanted to ask about that and hopefully have you expand on it. How is the monetization model going to work? Is it primarily, services and software revenue? How should we think about the long-term opportunity set? And is this going to be exclusive to Microsoft, or do you have plans to expand to other partners as well? Thank you.
Thanks, Toshiya, on the question regarding potentially new products that we could provide to our China customers. It's a significant process to both design and develop these new products. As we discussed, we're going to make sure that we are in full discussions with the U.S. government of our intent in these products as well. Given our state about where we are in the quarter, we're already several weeks into the quarter. That's just going to take some time for us to go through and discussing with our customers their needs and desires of these new products that we have. Moving forward, whether that's medium term or long term, it's just hard to say. Both the ideas of what we can produce with the U.S. government and what the interest of our China customers is. So we stay still focused on finding that right balance for our China customers, but it's hard to say at this time.
Lucia, thanks for the question. There is a glaring opportunity in the world for AI foundry, and it makes so much sense. First, every company has its core intelligence. It makes up our company. Our data, our domain expertise. In the case of many companies, we create tools. And most of the software companies in the world are tool platforms. And those tools are used by people today. And in the future, it's going to be used by people augmented with a whole bunch of AIs that we hire. And these AI platforms just got to go across the world, and you'll see. And we've already announced a few: SAP, ServiceNow, Dropbox, Getty. Many others are coming. And the reason for that is because they have their own proprietary AI. They want their own proprietary AI. They can't afford to outsource their intelligence and hand out their data and hand out their flywheel for other companies to build the AI for them. And so they come to us. We have several things that are really essential in a foundry. Just as TSMC is a foundry, you have to have AI technology. And as you know, we have just an incredible depth of AI capability, AI technology capability. And then second, you have to have the best practice, known practice, the skills of processing data through the invention of AI models to create AIs that are guardrailed, fine-tuned, so on and so forth, that are safe, so on and so forth. And the third thing is you need factories, and that's what DGX Cloud is. Our AI models are called AI foundations. Our process, if you will, our CAD system for creating AIs are called NeMo, and they run on NVIDIA's factories we call DGX Cloud. Our monetization model is that with each one of our partners, they rent a sandbox on DGX Cloud where we work together. They bring their data, they bring their domain expertise, we bring our researchers and engineers, we help them build their custom AI. We help them make that custom AI incredible. Then that custom AI becomes theirs. And they deploy it on a runtime that is enterprise grade, enterprise optimized, or performance optimized, runs across everything NVIDIA. We have a giant installed base in the cloud, on-prem, anywhere. And it's secure, securely patched, constantly patched and optimized and supported. And we call that NVIDIA AI Enterprise. NVIDIA AI Enterprise is $4,500 per GP per year. That's our business model. Our business model is basically a license. Our customers then, with that basic license, can build their monetization model on top of it. In a lot of ways, we're wholesale. They become retail. They could have a subscription license base. They could per instance, or they could do per usage. There's a lot of different ways that they can think of create their own business model. But ours is basically like a software license, like an operating system. And so our business model is help you create your custom models. You run those custom models on NVIDIA AI Enterprise. And it's off to a great start. NVIDIA AI Enterprise is going to be a very large business for us.
Your next question comes from the line of Stacy Rasgon of Bernstein Research. Your line is open.
Hi guys, thanks for taking my questions. Colette, I wanted to know if it weren't for the China restrictions, would the Q4 guide have been higher, or are you supply constrained in just reshipping stuff that would have gone to China elsewhere? And I guess along those lines, if you could give us a feeling for where your lead times are right now in data center and just the China redirection such as this, is it lowering those lead times because you've got parts that are sort of immediately available to ship?
Yeah, Stacy, let me see if I can help you understand. Yes, there are still situations where we are working on both improving our supply each and every quarter. We've done a really solid job of ramping every quarter, which is to find our revenue. But with the absence of China for our outlook for Q4, sure, there could have been some things that we are not supply constrained that we could have sold to China, but we no longer can. So could our guidance have been a little higher in our Q4? Yes. We are still working on improving our supply and plan on continuing growing all throughout next year as well to work for that.
Your next question comes from the line of Matt Ramsey of TD Cowen. Your line is open.
Thank you very much. Congrats everybody on the results. Jensen, I had a two-part question for you, and it comes off of sort of one premise, and the premise is I still get a lot of questions from investors thinking about AI training as being NVIDIA's dominant domain, and that somehow as inference, even large model inference, takes more and more of the TAM, that the market will become more competitive, you'll be less differentiated, et cetera, et cetera. So I guess the two parts of the question are number one, maybe you could spend a little bit of time talking about the evolution of the inference workload as we move to LLMs and how your company is positioned for that rather than smaller model inference. And second, up until a month or two ago, I never really got any questions at all about the data processing piece of the AI workload. So the pieces of manipulating the data before training, between training and inference, after inference. And I think that's a large part of the workload now.
We only got a few more minutes of this earnings left, guys. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe for me. We're going to continue to do more earnings in the future. Seems like we are loving it so far.
Inference is complicated. It's actually incredibly complicated. We this quarter announced one of the most exciting new engines optimizing compilers called TensorRT LLM. The reception has been incredible. You go to GitHub, it's been downloaded a ton, a whole lot of stars, integrated into stacks and frameworks all over the world, almost instantaneously. And there's several reasons for that, obviously. We could create TensorRT LLM because CUDA is programmable. If CUDA and our GPUs were not so programmable, it would really be hard for us to improve software stacks at the pace that we do. TensorRT LLM on the same GPU, without anybody touching anything, improves the performance by a factor of 2. And then on top of that, of course, the pace of our innovation is so high, H200 increases it by another factor of 2. And so our inference performance, another way of saying inference cost, just reduced by a factor of 4 within about a year's time. And so that's really, really hard to keep up with. Now, the reason why everybody likes our inference engine is because our install base. And we've been dedicated to our install base for 20 plus years. We have an install base that is not only large, it's in every single cloud, it's in every, available from every enterprise system maker. It's, used by companies of just about every industry. And anytime you see an NVIDIA GPU, it runs our stack. It's architecturally compatible. Something we've been dedicated to for a very long time. We're very disciplined about it. make it, our, if you will, architecture compatibility is job one. And that has conveyed to the world the certainty of our platform stability. NVIDIA's platform stability certainty is the reason why everybody builds on us first, and the reason why everybody optimizes on us first. All of the engineering and all the work that you do, all the invention of technologies that you build on top of NVIDIA accrues to the and benefits everybody that uses our GPUs. And we have such a large install base, large millions and millions of GPUs in the cloud, 100 million GPUs from people's PCs, just about every workstation in the world, and they're all architecturally compatible. And so if you're an inference platform and you are deploying an inference application, you are basically an application provider, and as a software application provider, you're looking for a large install base. Data processing.
NVIDIA's price is currently at $494 even. $494.
You have to dedupe the data. Maybe you have to augment the data with synthetic data. You have to process the data, clean the data, align the data, normalize the data. All of that data is measured not in bytes and megabytes. It's measured in terabytes and petabytes. And the amount of data processing that you do before data engineering, before that you do training, is quite significant. It could represent 30, 40, 50% of the amount of work that you ultimately do in ultimately creating a data-driven.
A petabyte is 1,024 terabytes, or a million gigabytes.
Python, one of the coolest things that we just did is called cuDF Pandas. Without one line of code, Pandas, which is the single most successful data science framework in the world, Pandas now is accelerated by NVIDIA CUDA, and just out of the box, without a line of code, and so the acceleration is really quite terrific, and people are just incredibly excited about it. Pandas was designed for one purpose and one purpose only, really data processing. It's for data science, and so NVIDIA CUDA gives you all of that.
Your final question comes from the line of Harlan Sur of JP Morgan. Your line is open.
Last question, guys.
Good afternoon. Thanks for taking my question. If you look at the history of the tech industry, right, those companies that have been successful have always been focused on ecosystems, silicon, hardware, software, strong partnerships, and just as importantly, right, an aggressive cadence of new products, more segmentation over time. The team recently announced a more aggressive new product cadence in data center from 2 years to now every year with higher levels of segmentation, training, optimization, inferencing, CPU, GPU, DPU, networking. How do we think about your R&D OpEx growth outlook to support a more aggressive and expanding forward roadmap? But more importantly, what is the team doing to manage and drive execution through all of this complexity?
It's a great question. Another great question.
Boy, that's just really excellent. You just wrote NVIDIA's business plan, and you described our strategy. First of all, there is a fundamental reason why we accelerate our execution, and the reason for that is because it fundamentally drives down cost. When the combination of TensorRT-LLM and H200 reduced the cost for our customers for large model inference by a factor of 4, and so that includes, of course, our speeds and fees, but mostly it's because of our software. Mostly the software benefits because of the architecture. And so we want to accelerate our roadmap for that reason. The second reason is to expand the reach of generative AI. The world's number of data center configurations. This is kind of the amazing thing. NVIDIA's in every cloud, but not one cloud is the same. NVIDIA's working with every single cloud service provider, and not one of their networking control plane security posture is the same. Everybody's platform is different, and yet we're integrated into all of their stacks, all of their data centers, and we work incredibly well with all of them. And not to mention, we then take the whole thing and we create AI factories that are standalone. We take our platform, we can put it into supercomputers, we can put them into enterprise. bringing AI to enterprise is generative AI to enterprise is something nobody's ever done before. And we're right now in the process of going to market with all of that. And so the complexity includes, of course, all of the technologies and segments and the pace. It includes the fact that we are architecturally compatible across every single one of those. It includes all of the domain-specific libraries that we create. The reason why every computer company, without thinking, can integrate NVIDIA into their roadmap and take it to market. And the reason for that is because there's market demand for it. There's market demand in healthcare. There's market demand in manufacturing. There's market demand, of course, in AI, in financial services, in supercomputing, and quantum computing. The list of markets and segments that we have domain-specific libraries is incredibly broad. And then finally, we have an end-to-end solution for data centers. InfiniBand networking, Ethernet networking, x86, ARM, just about every permutation, combination of solutions, technology solutions, and software stacks provided. And that translates to having the largest number of ecosystem software developers, the largest ecosystem of system makers, the largest and broadest distribution partnership network, and ultimately the greatest reach. And that takes a lot of energy. But the thing that really holds it together, and this is a great decision that we made decades ago, which is everything is architecturally compatible. When we develop a domain-specific language that runs on one GPU, it runs on every GPU. When we optimized TensorRT for the cloud, we optimized it for enterprise. When we do something that brings in a new feature, a new library, a new feature, or a new developer, they instantly get the benefit of all of our reach. And so that discipline, that architecture-compatible discipline that has lasted, more than a couple of decades now, is one of the reasons why NVIDIA is still really, really efficient. I mean, we're 28,000 people large and serving just about every single company, every single industry, every single market around the world.
Thank you. I will now turn the call back over to Jensen Huang for closing remarks.
Our strong growth reflects the broad industry platform transition from general purpose to accelerated computing and generative AI. Large language model startups, consumer internet companies, and global cloud service providers are the first movers. The next waves are starting to build. Nations and regional CSPs are building AI clouds to serve local demand. Enterprise software companies like Adobe and Dropbox, SAP, and ServiceNow are adding AI co-pilots and assistants to their platforms. And enterprises in the world's largest industries are creating custom AIs to automate and boost productivity. The generative AI era is in full steam and has created the need for a new type of data center, an AI factory, optimized for refining data and training and inference and generating AI. AI factory workloads are different and incremental to legacy data center workloads supporting IT tasks. AI factories run co-pilots and AI assistants, which are significant software TAM expansion and are driving significant new investment, expanding the $1 trillion traditional data center infrastructure install base and powering the AI industrial revolution. NVIDIA H100 HGX with InfiniBand and the NVIDIA AI software stack define an AI factory today. As we expand our supply chain to meet the world's demand, we are also building new growth drivers for the next wave of AI. We highlighted 3 elements to our new growth strategy that are hitting their stride: CPU, networking, and software and services. Grace is NVIDIA's first data center CPU. Grace and Grace Hopper are in full production and ramping into a new multi-billion-dollar product line next year. Irrespective of the CPU choice, we can help customers build an AI factory. NVIDIA networking now exceeds a $10 billion annualized revenue run rate. InfiniBand grew fivefold year over year and is positioned for excellent growth ahead as the networking of AI factories. Enterprises are also racing to adopt AI, and Ethernet is the standard networking. This week, we announced an Ethernet for AI platform for enterprises. NVIDIA Spectrum X is an end-to-end solution of Bluefield SuperNIC, Spectrum 4 Ethernet switch, and software that boosts Ethernet performance by up to 1.6x for AI workloads. Dell, HPE, and Lenovo have joined us to bring a full generative AI solution of NVIDIA AI computing, networking, and software to the world's enterprises. NVIDIA Software and Services is on track to exit the year at an annualized run rate of $1 billion. Enterprise software platforms like ServiceNow and SAP need to build and operate proprietary AI. Enterprises need to build and deploy custom AI copilots. We have the AI technology, expertise, and scale to help customers build custom models with their proprietary data on NVIDIA DGX Cloud and deploy the AI applications on enterprise-grade NVIDIA AI Enterprise. NVIDIA is essentially an AI foundry. NVIDIA's GPUs, CPUs, networking, AI foundry services, and NVIDIA AI Enterprise software are all growth engines in full throttle. Thanks for joining us today. We look forward.
All right, guys, that was pretty cool. I think the biggest takeaway on that, honestly, simply put, was the fact that they are going to be hurting a little bit from the government putting a stipulation on what they can sell to China. They're worried about their growth rate. It's taking away 25% of their revenue. I think that's the reason why we're not seeing NVIDIA taking off as so many people expected. So that being said, I think that's my biggest takeaway. Now, they obviously have a handle on things. They still think they're going to see a huge revenue growth from all their other things that we've heard about. But I think the biggest reason why, and I'm looking at a lot of different people chatting here, the biggest reason why is that 25% of revenue they're worried about not selling to China. So I feel like that's the big takeaway on this. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see how in the morning how the market handles it. But right now we're getting some sideways action. But guys, I do appreciate you joining me. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We're always growing, and I do appreciate you guys. So I love you, and we'll see you on the next earnings call. Let me know what you want to see on the next earnings call.